Hi guys. What happens when you want to make a change in your swing or your motion? You want to change your mechanics. What's the best way to do that? And how does it really work? Even if you're aware of it or you're not aware of it, how does the body make that adjustment? Well, when you want to switch something in your motion and your mechanics, you're asking your body to do something it's not really that familiar with to do. It may feel comfortable, but nevertheless, in the beginning, it feels maybe a little awkward in that the body's not used to getting in that position at impact or at release point or wherever, after the motion. So how does it really work? How do you make those adjustments and how do you make them stick, especially in the heat of the moment? Well, if you're asking your body to do something it's not that familiar in doing, the first thing you have to do is you have to make the mind comfortable. Because it's the mind which gives direction to the body. And if the mind isn't comfortable, and initially it won't be comfortable when you're first making an adjustment because it's not used to it, if the mind is not comfortable, the body will not have enough flexibility to do what the mind says it should do. So it all starts with the comfort level of the mind. When the mind has silence in it, when it has freedom in it, when it has abstraction in it, then because of the way the Creator organized the whole thing, that freedom and that flexibility and that abstraction and that silence will be infused into the body. And then the body becomes like wet clay. You can mold it any way you want. Now you can't force a change. If someone says, I want you to get your body in this position at impact, you can't force it. Because if you force it, the body will reject it. No matter how strong your mind is and no matter how much you want to do it. So what you have to do, whether you're realizing you're doing it or you don't realizing you're doing it, that in order to make the body do what it has to do, even with no understanding of this program, Perfect Mind, Perfect Motion, PM Sports, or any of the drills or any of the concepts, it doesn't matter. We're talking about how the muscles operate, their operating system of the muscles, is that in order to make that shift, to make that change, you have to make the mind comfortable. There has to be a sense of ease and freedom in the mind. And then you give the intention to the body, and then the body, like wet clay, will mold itself the way you want it to mold. Now, we've gone through a number of changes, mechanical changes with some players, and we have a technique and we have a process to do this with the drills. But it's good to understand that the body is always making adjustments during a motion. We're not talking about major adjustments that you're specifically working on, a stronger base, having your hands higher or lower, the relationship of the hand to the bat at impact, or relationship of the hand to the golf club at impact, that you're specifically working on to change. Every time you swing, whether you know it or not, or pitch, whether you know it or not, the body is always making adjustments. There's something in golf called the Iron Byron, named after Byron Nelson, who had just a beautiful, repeatable golf swing. And this is a machine where it has levers going up here and up here, and it always swings the same way. So if you want to test how far a golf ball goes, you test it with this Iron Byron, because it'll always have the same swing speed, the same angle, the same everything. Pitching, they have pitching machines that do the same thing. You want a pitch that goes 90 miles an hour, 95, no variation or whatever. A human being is not quite constructed like that. A human being can never really repeat the exact motion down to the most minute detail. And if he's at bat, forget it, because no pitch is ever the same. So a human being is always making adjustments, last-minute adjustments, to make sure that he makes impact or he swings the way he wants to swing. So because an athlete, a human being, pitcher, hitter, golfer, whatever, is making last-minute adjustments all the time during a swing, during his motion, it's crucial that there's freedom in the mind. Because when the mind is free, when the mind has that silence in it, then you give an intention to the body. The body will say, yes, Mr. Mind, you understand our operating system. I will obey your command. Now, how crucial is this on a 95-mile-an-hour slider, okay, that's moving away from you pretty quick, to make those last-minute adjustments? Hey, it's a difference between making a couple $100,000 a year in the minor leagues or making $15 million a year like Albert Pujols, who's able to make those last-minute adjustments. So it all starts, all motion starts, even though the physical motion is in the body, all motion can be traced back to the quality of the mind. That's why this program is just stating the obvious and setting up the conditions that you normally have to set up anyway, only it's setting up more systematically. So I just wanted to just illuminate this a little bit so you understand the deep connection between the mind and the body. Now, the mind has to be alert. It can't be lackadaisical. It can't think that things are just going to happen by itself. There's a thin line, last video, thin line. There's a thin line between being effortlessly relaxed and alert and lackadaisical and just think, oh, I just have to be relaxed. We never teach someone to be relaxed. Relax is a byproduct of a deeper set of processes. So the mind is alert. When the mind is alert in silence, oh man, mama huma, that's powerful. Because then you really have the coexistence of opposites. You have this dynamism and you have this silence, and then you have the intelligence in the silence. So that when you give a direction, mind is like an ocean, surface levels, deeper levels. When you give an intention, a direction, when the mind has silence in it, and there's intelligence lively in the mind, the body will say, I will do as you wish. Your wish is my command. And everyone, you guys know that feeling when you just give the slightest intention to the body and boom, it just responds. You also know that feeling when you give an intention to the body and you know what? The body doesn't respond, or it's late. Usually it's late, or it doesn't respond exactly the way you want it to respond, and then you don't make solid contact with the ball, regardless of what the ball is. Golf, tennis, soccer, basketball, whatever. Okay, got it? It's deep. I took it deep. But you guys know that deep is good. All right, hope you had a good Thanksgiving. We'll catch you on the rebound. Over now.